Oh God, baby, like that, oh yeah, come on, darling, come on, come on. Her raven hair fanned out across the white pillowcase. Her feet, still in high heels, were pointed straight at the ceiling. The man, his name was Brad, tried his best. She scratched his back, and her nails left red marks on his skin. Yes, baby, yes. I needed both hands to hold the video camera steady. Another minute of, oh yeah, and Brad announced his finish line. He stood motionless for a minute or so, and then fell onto the bed next to her. They were both silent for a couple of seconds. And then Brad said, "If you do get pregnant with me, are you going to name the baby after me?" "Don't be stupid, baby. I will name him after my husband. It will be Robert Lawrence Stackman, Jr. What if it's a girl? This will not be my beloved, not with a strong, courageous daddy like you. What if it's actually his child? He couldn't do it on his best days? He's just not capable of it. I do not understand this. If you have such a low opinion of him, why do you stay married to him? Because he makes damn good money and is every woman's ideal husband. How come? I wrapped it around my little finger. He does what I want, when I want, smiles and says, "Yes, honey." Doesn't look much like a man. He doesn't have to be the only one. That's why I have you. Brad looked at his watch. I think I'll go. He should be home soon. She grabbed him before he could stand up. Oh no, love. I'm ovulating and I'm going to get pregnant with you. What if your husband comes home and I'm still here? This spineless weakling will go and hide in the garage until you leave. Now let me continue, baby. And they made the second round. Bobby will certainly believe any bullshit I tell him. However, it's probably best to avoid this situation if I can. I'm exhausted, baby. So go away, okay? Call me tomorrow, and we can arrange a next time. Brad left the room, and I turned off the camera and hid it under my clothes. I heard the front door close, and then Stella said, "You can go out now." I came out of the closet and looked at my wife. "Was this what you wanted, baby? Did you get what you wanted?" "Oh yes, my love, I got exactly what I wanted." It all started on a rainy Tuesday. It was raining heavily, and the office trailer on the construction site had seen better days. He eventually decided to give up the fight, and the roof and 2 windows began to leak. The water shorted out a couple of electrical circuits, and I turned off the computer before it could short out. Outside, the pouring rain was turning the ground to a mushy mess, so I told the guys to turn off the equipment and call it a day. Usually on a rainy day, I would go back to the office and do paperwork. But that day, I really didn't feel like doing it. No, I thought, to hell with the paperwork, let's go home instead. There was an unfamiliar car in the driveway, so I assumed that Stella had a girl visiting and that my lovemaking on a rainy afternoon would not happen. I parked the car on the street so the car in the driveway could get out and went into the house. It's a shock when you find out that your loving wife loves someone else. The sounds coming from the upstairs bedroom and the trail of clothes leading from the living room to the stairs spoke of this all too clearly. My first instinct was to rush upstairs and cause serious bodily harm to Stella and whoever she was with, but fortunately for me, I learned to control my temper. I quietly left the house and drove my car down the block to a parking lot where I could watch the house. About 2 hours later, a man I had never seen before walked out the front door, got into his car in the driveway, and drove off. During the 2 hours that I sat and watched, I wondered how long this had been going on. I wondered why this was happening. Stella and I had only been married for 2 years, and how the hell could a marriage fall apart in such a short period of time? There were no problems with money. My construction company was thriving. Sexually, everything was fine, at least from my point of view. We still courted each other like newlyweds. Something was clearly wrong, but I couldn't figure out what it was. I thought back to see if I could remember anything that might give me a clue as to when Stella started cheating on me, but nothing came to mind. None of the classic signs showed up. Strange phone calls, unexplained absences, cessation of sex. None of this happened. One thing I knew for sure was that I was going to do something about it, and Stella and her lover weren't going to like it. Electronics Avenue sold me most of what I needed, and by the end of the week, I had a sound system installed in my house. I had several sound-activated tape recorders hidden in strategic locations, and one was connected to the phone. Even before I began doing what intelligence agencies call information gathering, I began processing Stella. That night, after a tense romp in the bedroom, I asked, "Do you ever have any fantasies? Isn't everyone doing this? I don't know. Which ones do you have? Win the lottery, being seduced by Brad Pitt or Matt Damon. Ask the genie to grant me a wish so that my boobs never start to sag. Why do you ask? Just curious. Pitt and Damon, right? Are there any other guys? There is no guy, and these are just fantasies. You are more than enough for me. What led to this conversation? Nothing, just sudden curiosity. A lover of all sorts of nonsense. I know you too well. You have a fantasy, and you wondered if I do too. What's the matter, baby? Tell me." "No, I can't tell you." "Hey, I told you about mine, and you should tell me about yours. Justice is justice." "You won't like this. You'll get angry, and I'll end up pleasuring myself for a month, because you won't let me in the bedroom." "Oh, come on. Don't be so melodramatic. Tell me." I hesitated for a second or so, and then said, "My fantasy is watching you make love to another man." She looked at me for a few seconds and then said, "You're kidding, right? Me and another man? Who?" "I don't know. Probably some stranger. I don't think I'd want it to be anyone I know." "Where would you be? Sitting on a chair next to the bed, standing on the stairs and looking out the bedroom window? Or that old cliché, hiding in the closet?" "I think I would be in the closet. I wouldn't want him to know I'd be there." "How does this happen in your fantasy? Are you going to bring someone home with you, or should I go fishing and see what I can catch?" "You would pick up a guy." "God, I would have no idea how to ask some guy to have sex with my wife. You wouldn't have any problems." "Why is this?" "Girls just naturally know how to pick up guys. You throw out bait, and they come running." "How long have you had this fantasy?" "It's been a couple of months now." "Why? Why do you want to see me have sex with another man?" "So I can see what I can't see when we make love." "Like what?" "Do your toes curl when you feel good? Do your legs swing from side to side or point straight up? When I'm on top of you, I can't see your body moving. I feel it move, but I don't see what it does. Is your facial expression different? There are probably many more, but these are the ones that just came to mind." "Charming. I would never have expected this from you." "What?" "That you would like to see me making love. No, not love, but sex with another man." "Well, it's just a fantasy. I never expected this to happen." "But that's what you want, isn't it? I can tell by the tone of your voice and the way you talk that you really want this to happen." I looked at her for a few long moments and then said, "Yeah, I guess I really want this. I'll do anything for you, baby, and you know it. Now, Stella, you are my life. Nothing you could do would make me hate you. I might throw your ass out on the street, but I won't hate you," I thought to myself. "Do you really want it? I'm not kidding?" "Yes, baby, I do." "Well, I'm not making you any promises, but I'll think about it." The next evening, after we had eaten and cleared away the dinner dishes, Stella told me that she was going to her mother's for a couple of hours and that she would be back before bed. As soon as she pulled out of the driveway, I pulled out the recorder that was hidden in the living room and played it. I heard the doorbell ring, mutterings that grew louder until they became recognizable voices, and then, "Hurry up, darling. Sit on the sofa. Will you still feel this way when we get married?" "Hell yeah, baby." The sounds died down as the two of them left the room. As I took out the tape and inserted a new one, I thought about the phrase, "when we get married," that I heard. It sure as hell sounded like I was going to get a divorce or die. The next recording I checked was in the bedroom, but there was nothing on it except a lot of moaning. The next one was the one connected to the telephone line. There were 6 calls in total. 1 wrong number, 2 telemarketing calls. A call from her sister that was just normal chit-chat. A call from her lover asking if he could come over. And the last call was to Stella from her mother. The last call opened my eyes. "Hello?" "Hi, Mom." "Hi, Stell. Are you calling me because you need something again? I need you to cover for me tonight in case hubby calls. Who are you dating, Brad or David? With Brad. One day you will be caught, Stell. You know that, right? No, I won't get caught, and with any luck you won't have to cover for me anymore. Are you finally going to get a divorce? No, I still need another year so I can be sure I know where all the assets are. Don't be greedy, honey. Get out before you get caught. Another year could mean another $250,000, Mom. Plus, I won't have to worry about getting caught. I'm going to turn Bob into my own cuckold. I'm going to have fun with Brad and then Dave right in front of him. Honey, I would think long and hard about this. My advice is don't do this. Playing the game of treason could backfire on you. No, Mom, I'll be fine. You'll see. So, will you be home to cover for me tonight? Okay, sweetie. What's your excuse? How about I help you make a quilt for Grandma for her birthday? Fine. Thank you, Mom. I'll call you tomorrow. I always thought that Stella's mom liked me. This call told me that all was not well with my marriage. This told me that I had no marriage. What I had was a con game in which I was the target. All I could say was, shame, shame on the mother-in-law. When I'm done with you, you'll regret the day you agreed to provide an alibi for your cheating daughter. Over the next week, I collected audio recordings of Stella's conversations with her mother and both of her lovers. Neither seemed to know about the other. And all the sex that took place in the living room and bedroom. I knew Stella had taken the bait, and all I could do was wait for it. On Friday, I came home from work and found Stella dressed in a short skirt, a low-cut blouse, and high-heeled shoes. Are we going somewhere tonight? Not us, baby, just me. About? And where are you going in such an outfit? Do you like it? Does this look sexy? You know it is. Fine. That's the idea. Tonight you'll get your fantasy, honey. These are my fishing clothes, and if I don't get accosted within 5 minutes of walking into a bar, my ego will be in the toilet. Why didn't we talk about this first? Because if we sat down and talked about it, I'm afraid I would chicken out and not do it. Do you want it? And I know you want this, and it took me a week to get up the courage to do it. I need to do this now and get this over with before I lose my cool. She pulled me into her arms and kissed me passionately. Get the closet ready, baby. I'll be home in about an hour. As soon as she pulled out of the driveway, I checked all the dash cams. There is nothing on the answering machines in the living room or bedroom, and only one ring on the payphone. This call told me the plan for the night. Hello? Hi, David, honey. Do you want to meet? You know I could never say no to you, but you said we could never do it tonight. That was in the past, honey, not now. Dear hubby will be out of town until tomorrow evening. In that case, I'm definitely free. Meet me at the Brady Lounge around 7 tonight. We can have a couple of drinks and then come back here. Okay, love. See you at 7. An hour and a half passed before I received a phone call. I have a live fish. I'll be home in about 15 minutes, so get ready to jump into the closet. 11 minutes later, Stella pulled into the driveway, followed by another car. I moved into the closet and made myself comfortable. I made sure the video camera was positioned at a good angle to the bed and waited. Stella entered the room, followed by David. She walked straight to the bed and began to undress, looking over her shoulder at David and saying, "Hurry up, honey. I really need this." When I made my plans, I didn't think them through. I had no idea how long I would have to sit in the closet. I knew, although I couldn't see into her thoughts, that while she was looking at the closet at my eye level, she was thinking, "You're a stupid piece of shit. This is one of my lovers and we are having sex with your blessing and you have no idea." But she was wrong about that. She was the only one who had no idea what would happen to her. When it was all over, Stella looked at her watch. "You need to go, baby." "But I planned to spend the night here. You told me that your husband was out of town, and I thought that Stella put her finger to his lips. "Hush, baby. I never said it would last all night. You need to get out of here. My sister is coming to stay with us for the night after leaving a party she went to in Avon. She'll be here in about half an hour, and you need to leave. Now. No arguing. Go away. Come on. Come on. Come on." And she picked up his trousers from the floor and handed them to him. Stella walked him to the door, and while she was leaving the room, I hid the video camera. I was just taking off my boxers when Stella came back into the room. "Oh, baby, if this is any indication that you enjoyed your fantasy, I'm glad. We can talk later, baby, but for now let your wife take care of this for you." Mixed emotions. It was damn hard for me. I really didn't want anything to do with that bitch. On the other hand, I needed to keep her from suspecting that I was stalking her, and refusing to have sex with her would raise a lot of alarm bells. I had no choice but to use it. When it was all over, and we were lying next to each other on the bed, Stella asked, "Okay, baby, was this what you wanted?" It was okay, Stell. But no, it wasn't what I wanted. "Oh God, baby, didn't you like that? Now you're going to hate me. Oh God, I knew I shouldn't have done that." As hard as it was for me to do it, I hugged her and told her not to worry. "I don't hate you, baby. How could I when you love me so much that you did this for me? No, honey. I meant that something was missing, something I didn't even think about before I was watching you from the closet." "What's wrong? What didn't I do?" "It's not about what you didn't do, honey. You're just great. It's just something I didn't even know about myself until I watched you." "What's the matter, baby? You know I'll do this for you." "You won't laugh or think less of me." "Of course not, baby." While I was in that closet, it occurred to me that what I really wanted was to be punished for forcing you to give yourself to that stranger. Not physical punishment, but mental. I felt like you had to humiliate me. You know, things like calling me a wimp, saying I'm worthless, and that's why you had to pick up strangers. I told them to make you pregnant because I didn't have the courage to do it. Would you really want me to do this? Yes, I would like to. But none of this is true, baby. You're not a weakling. And where did this insufficiently courageous man come from to make me pregnant? Neither of us want kids right now, so we haven't even tried. I know, baby. This is all madness, and I know it. But your lover must go away thinking I'm a weakling who can't take care of his own wife. Well, if that's what you want, fine. I can do this, but it will feel wrong. I'll do it tomorrow night before I wake up tonight. If you wait, I might lose my nerve. Are you sure you're okay with this fantasy? It won't hurt us, will it? No, honey. It doesn't hurt me at all. Having sex with her two boyfriends in front of me sexually charged my wife, and she couldn't leave me alone for the rest of the weekend. I wanted to push her away or spit on her, but I had to force myself to behave. I needed to keep my balance until I was ready to bring the hammer down on her. On Monday morning, I showed up for an appointment with a divorce lawyer. I gave him a copy of the audio and videotapes. He looked through them and asked me what I wanted. Dissolution of the marriage, and I want this one to leave with nothing. No alimony, no agreement, nothing. She can only end the marriage with what she had before the marriage, her maiden name, and that's all. You know she's going to fight this, right? With what we have, divorce will not be easy, but a good lawyer will get the judge to award her something. I don't know much about law, but doesn't this audio recording of her talking to her mother about how she stole from me show that she only married me for my money? Wouldn't that be cheating? It would be difficult to prove, and I doubt I could get the DA to file charges. We may be able to scare her with the threat of criminal prosecution, but this will depend on how smart a lawyer she finds. How would an alienation of affection claim go if we went to her mother? We would have a good chance there. Maybe the threat of me doing this will make Stella give in. You could try this. What are the work hours? I can get the paperwork done by tomorrow afternoon, and then it just needs to be served. That night and the next morning, Stella was still very horny from her weekend, and as disgusting as it was for me, I had to take care of business. At dinner on Wednesday, Stella asked me how I felt about her working on my fantasy a little more. Brad called me today and said he wanted to see me again. You seem to like him, why not? But just one thing, you can't do it here. Why not? Because tomorrow at this time you won't be living here anymore. What are you talking about? I want to show you something. Just a second, I'll be right back. I stood up, walked into my home office, picked up my briefcase, and returned to the kitchen. I took out the tape recorder and put it on the table. I took excerpts from the tapes I had collected and inserted the tape into the recorder. I pressed the play button. Hurry up, darling. Sit on the sofa. Will you still feel this way when we get married? Hell yeah, baby. There was a pause on the tape, and I looked up at Stella's face and saw that she had turned pale. The following fragment of the tape began. I need you to cover for me tonight in case hubby calls. Who are you dating, Brad or David? With Brad. One day you will be caught. You know that, right? No, I won't get caught, and with any luck, you won't have to cover for me anymore. Are you finally going to get a divorce? No. I still need another year to make sure I know where all the assets are. I pressed the stop button, looking at Stella's stunned expression. Then I took an envelope out of my briefcase and handed it to her. She took it, and I said, You have been notified. Now here's how it goes. You walk away and don't fight the divorce, and I'll leave your mother alone. I will register your car for you and pay for insurance for 1 year. I'll pay the security deposit and rent for the apartment for the first year and give you $5,000 to start. Give me the slightest problem and I'll sue your mother, Brad, and David for alienation of affection. I don't know what I can get from Brad and David, but my lawyer says that I could eventually get a judgment against your mother for such an amount that if she doesn't pay, I can put a lien on her house and foreclose on her. Her and your father outside. The bottom line is that you need to start packing. I want you to be out of this house by this time tomorrow. But it didn't end there. Stella packed her things, left, and moved back in with her parents until she could find a place of her own. She told her mother about my threat, which caused her mother to have a panic attack. My father-in-law wanted to know why she was crying, and she told him that I was going to take their house. Neither Stella nor her mother told him why, so he came to me and called me every swear word he could think of. It's bad enough that you're being a jerk to my daughter, but what makes you think you can drag my wife into this? I liked Ralph and hated doing this to him, but I had no intention of becoming the villain of the play, so I played him the tapes. He sat stunned, listening to his wife and daughter plotting against me, and then he got up and left without saying another word. I later heard that he threw Stella out of the house, and when his wife tried to stop him, he told her to shut up or get out too. Stella actually left without opposing me in the divorce, and 2 months after the divorce was final, she married Brad. It turns out Brad was a control freak, and I saw Stella around town with black eyes several times. One day I saw her with her arm in a sling, and I couldn't help but be happy for her that she was able to marry the man of her dreams. Subscribe to our channel so that your second chaff doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 18, don't even think about listening to the next one.